Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast, giving you the State of the Saints podcast halftime report. The New Orleans Saints are down 13-7 to the Minnesota Vikings at halftime. This game right here is, it's a pretty exciting game. It's an exciting game. Both teams' defenses seem to be stepping up. We got turnovers on both sides, right? The Saints, got an interception by Tyrann Mathieu. There was a forced fumble by the Minnesota Vikings to get the ball back in the red zone. But shouts out to the Saints defense making a stop and forcing the Minnesota Vikings to kick a field goal. Look, as I look at this game, um, I can't really just put my finger on like exactly what the heck is going on. Well, I will say this: the more things change, the more they stay the same. You're looking at the New Orleans Saints had an opportunity to get like a 2-minute drill thing going, get the ball back, was a minute and some change, being able to probably do like some up tempo type offense, but instead you end up giving up a sack. The running game of the Saints looks pretty good to me. Latavius Murray is really running the ball. So is Mark Ingram. Ball security is key going into the second half. Also, we're seeing the Saints defense get pressure on Kirk Cousins. So you got a sack from Davenport. You got some pressure by Davenport. You got Street. He had a sack. And also, Cam Jordan had a half a sack along with Davenport. So they're able to get pressure on him. And also they're neutralizing Dalvin Cook. Somebody that is really taking over this game in a way is Adam Thielen, which isn't a surprise to me. I mean, Adam Thielen is a really good wide receiver. I know he's had some hamstring issues, but he's a guy that if you keep on feeding him the ball, you look up, he'll have over 100 yards on you. But shouts out to the Saints defense. They're bending but not breaking. They're allowing these guys to get field goals instead of touchdowns. The first drive, the first 15 from the Minnesota Vikings was the only touchdown that they scored so far. As I look at these stats, I'm looking at the first downs. The Minnesota Vikings have 13, the Saints have 5. But to be honest with you, there's been an increase on third down. The Saints, have been converting third downs. And also, they got some points on the board early in the game. So we don't have to wait till the fourth quarter to see the Saints offense wake up. But what I would like to see in the second half, number one, let's just try to get the offensive line. Like let's make sure that we give Andy Dalton some time, because if you give him some time, he's finding the right guys. I mean, he's making the right plays, and sometimes those plays are going to work, sometimes they aren't. But you got to be able to have this offensive line hold up so he can actually see down the field. I also think they need to continue to run the football because they're doing a really good job. As I look at the box score here, between Latavius Murray and Mark Ingram, they're averaging, like, well, saying a little bit under 4 yards a carry. But I mean, you still are keeping the defense of the Minnesota Vikings honest. Mark Ingram 6 carries for 23 yards. Then you got Latavius Murray 3 carries for 9 yards. But you have to continue to run the football. And also, if you can try to utilize Taysom Hill a little bit, and I understand he's the backup quarterback, and you got to keep him, kind of fresh. But if we can try to use Taysom Hill in some areas, I think that might be able to help. The Saints defense, once again, bending but not breaking, getting pressured, and it seems like they're kind of waking up. That interception by Tyrann Mathieu was something that the Saints needed. Glad that they got their first interception this season. And it's just funny to me, like watching on Twitter, as every play that doesn't go right for the New Orleans Saints, you got more and more Saints fans ready to jump out the windows with these hot takes. But it's going to take some time for these guys to get it together. But it seems like to me defensively, it seems like you're starting to see the bright spots come together. Hopefully the offense be able to wake up and be able to make some plays down the stretch. Actually, everybody hit that like button if you're here. I would really appreciate that. Let's see. I need Jarvis and Murray getting more involved. Yeah, I think that you'll see that going in the second half as they make the adjustments. Lattimore going to lock down Chase too. Yeah, man. I mean, look, Lattimore doing a good job. I know people talking about those two catches that Justin Jefferson made, but come on, man. Like, if you can find two catches, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of the game, and how, you know what I'm saying, and pinpoint that, that just tells you that the guy's doing his job. And not to mention, you know, Justin Jefferson is one of the best young, talented wide receivers in the league. So, asking, you know what I'm saying, to basically kind of keep this dude in check would be a tall ask, but you know, just to make sure that he really just does not take over. But the Saints, you know, at times Kirk Cousins is having a pocket, but he's able to read through his progressions, you know. So the Saints need to find ways to try to get pressure on him. They're speeding up the clock in his head, you know, as they start to get pressure on him, because even though they're not getting sacks, they're getting hurries, and that's going to affect him down the stretch. Look for Dalton to throw 7 straight touchdowns in the second half. Shout out to Olave getting his first NFL touchdown. Stop letting Dalton get sacked. Well, I'm pretty sure, you know, they don't want him to get sacked. It's just Minnesota. It's good to see Olave get his first touchdown. The sack fumble was a coverage sack. Dalton is holding the ball and doing spin moves when he feels pressure. Not not so much, not all the time. You know what I'm saying? That was just one particular play. But I mean, for the most part, look, I'm gonna say this, Keen Arthur, he is making the right decisions with the football. So, I mean, we got to give him that. He's making the right decisions with the football, and also, you know, he's put like there was one particular play um, that he audible. You know, he brought Chris Olave in. It was a running play, and Mark Ingram, you know, ended up getting like his longest rush of the game. So, um, I mean, he's making the right plays. He's making the right plays. I give him that. You know, I mean, sacks are going to come. It's going to happen. You know, these are really good teams. They got a really good pass rush, so it's going to happen. But he's making good decisions. I can't knock him for that. Tyron facial expression when he got that. P. Warner is a star. Yeah, P. Warner continues to impress. If we can keep the offense, let me see, possessions going, not wasting passes and getting first downs, they're going to take out the Vikings defense. Yeah, I mean, you just got to sustain drives, and you got to continue to be balanced. TJ, can we finally say it's not Jameis' fault, even when he hurt? Look, I just think that is not the fault of the quarterback. As we can see, you know, the offense and some of the calls, you know, I mean, it's not really getting the job done. But I mean, from what Andy is giving, he's doing a good job at it. You know what I'm saying? He's making the right decisions. You know, I say, you know, by the end of the game, I just think that going into this game, once again, I said at the beginning on the pregame show, you got people out here that's going to analyze every pass that Andy Dalton throws. They're going to analyze every decision that he makes, and you know they're trying to find justification. Oh, it's not Jameis' fault. It's the play calling fault. Is Andy Dalton better? I mean, look, I don't care, man. All I know is the offense right now, they're calling the plays to win this football game. They can win this game with the way that the plays that they call it. They just got to sustain drives. They got to stay on the field. Hey, seems like the Saints are playing for a high pick next season. This is pathetic for real. Well, it won't be theirs, Paul. You know, it won't be theirs. And I'm not seeing what people are seeing. I mean, I see some mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I see, you know what I'm saying, them turn the ball over with Andy Dalton. But yeah, like I said, man, I don't see a team that's not trying. Like, they trying to win the game. They trying to play. You know what I'm saying? They're inspired to play this game right now. You know, like I just think that we have grown accustomed to the Saints putting up a whole bunch of points, and you know what I'm saying, having a solid defense. And you know what I'm saying, if we're like going into the half and the Saints don't have 21, all of a sudden we just like, oh man, this team ain't good enough. I mean, everything I see is a team that can be good. You know, they're just some self-inflicted wounds week after week. You know, getting the ball back to the other team is one. You know, undisciplined. You know, like that drive where Andy Dalton was converting is kind of similar to that last week with the Carolina Panthers. Like, they were converting on, you know, converting on third downs. They was getting first downs. All of a sudden, here's a false start. You know, it's a team that has self-inflicted wounds. They're not playing disciplined football. So there's nothing about this team that tells me that they're quitting or they're not playing or they're not trying to win. None of that. You know, I just think that we've grown accustomed to the Saints putting up a whole bunch of points and having a good to a solid defense. And the fact that we go to games now or we watch games and they're not putting up those type of points all of a sudden, like we just feel like the team ain't good enough. Well, I just think that we're prisoners of the past. That's just the reality. We're prisoners of the past, and we want the Saints to look like how they used to look the time when they made us happy. But this isn't the same Saints team, and I just think that's something that we just have to realize. And we have to realize this is not the same Saints team. And the way that you used to see the Saints winning, they're probably not going to be winning games like that going forward, at least until they figure out these offensive issues. It's football. The other team has a job to do. Nobody just going to lay down. Y'all be looking for blowouts and perfect football every game. Exactly. You know, these other guys get paid a lot of money to play this game. And we act like the Saints, the only team that's trying hard, the only team that wants to go to the Super Bowl, the only team that wants to make the playoffs. You're sadly mistaken. Like I said, I think a lot of people are prisoners of the past and they want the Saints to look like the teams of the past, but this is not the same Saints team. You know, if you think that that's going to happen, I have to say, man, you're going to leave yourself very disappointed. I just want to see them win. Bro, we diehard fans that got used to better football than this, just hard to watch. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, we're prisoners of the past. We want the Saints to look like how they used to look, you know, but they're not. That's not the team. Drew Brees ain't coming through that door, bro. We are way too talented to be playing like this, hard to watch. I'm just saying, I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand. Like, why is it so bad? Like I said, the only thing is like, okay, Andy Dalton fumbled, you know what I'm saying, the football. Okay, that was bad. But besides that, I mean, they've been playing pretty solid, like on both sides of the ball. They neutralizing Delvin Cook for the most part. They basically kind of neutralized Justin Jefferson. You know, he got a couple catches on that drive. Adam Thielen was sustaining some drives, but defensively, man, I mean, they're getting pressure on the quarterback, something people have been wanting for a long time, right? Wanting them to get pressure on Kirk Cousins. They doing that. We wanted to see the offense sustain some drives. We saw that. So, I mean, I don't know if people just like, oh, Jameis is the problem. Here come Andy. So all of a sudden, like, since we got all that talent, he about to go out there and throw for, you know what I'm saying, and put up 28 points in the first half. I don't know what y'all expected. But like I said, this is not the same team that y'all been used to seeing. And I just think you need to suspend that. I think you need to approach every game looking at the X's and O's and the matchups and go from there. But I think that if people looking for this team to be putting up 30 points, that's not gonna happen. That ain't happening. It's gonna be few and far in between. I thought Andy Dalton was supposed to reinvigorate the Saints offense. I mean, look, he's making the right plays. He's making the right plays. He's doing the right things. So for that, I mean, I got to give him credit with that. But I just think that maybe people looking for down the field passes, like taking the top off the deep. I don't know, man. I don't know exactly. I don't know what some of you want. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what some of you want. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Like, you don't want the ball to be turned over. We all want that, but I just think that a lot of you are looking for a Drew Brees type offense and a quarterback that runs the offense like Drew Brees, that looks like Drew Brees, that throws like Drew Brees. It ain't happening. I keep telling y'all, man, the reason why Drew Brees was so special was because of some of the things he was able to help the offense do. And how special would he be if we didn't miss him at certain points? This where you want to be, though. We are a second half team. Look, they down by 6 points. It could have easily been worse. It could have been 17-7 versus 13-7. So shouts out to the defense. What I expect in the second half, I expect for the Saints to continue to have a balanced attack, to be able to convert on third downs. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, go on some of those drives where they may involve 7 to 10 plays. I don't care about, you know what I'm saying, like shocking plays. I don't care how they win this game at the end of the day. As long as, you know, they continue to stay in, you know, and stay in front of the chains, I should say, instead of behind them, I think they should be fine. I mean, there's nothing about this offense that they're doing right now that can't beat the Minnesota Vikings if the defense continues to get stops and get the ball back to the offense to give them opportunities. But hold on to the footballs. Ball security is key. The offensive line got to protect Andy Dalton. And, you know, let's see what we can do in the second half. All right. I hope everybody enjoyed the second half, and thank you for checking out the halftime report of the State of the Saints podcast. We'll be back for the post-game show immediately following the Saints Vikings game. Win, lose, or draw, we'll be right here on the State of the Saints podcast. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?